if you can't, the universe control for you.
You are giving big gems. That's a big.
Right. And don't close your prayer by saying amen, because that's telling the force of the God to keep it a secret. And if you keep it a secret, then it's kept sacred. That means you can't access it in the mundane.
What's the meaning of Amin? Because I say Amin or Ashe.
It comes from amen or amun, and it means the unknown aspect of God, but it's an alchemically charged name, and it has a direct energetic effect on whatever it is that you're sealing with amen. That means that you saying the prayer, but you blocking it at the end. You
Right.
keeping it a secret.
Like God got
And
caller
because
ID and
it's
an answer on
sacred,
the phone or something.
right. So because it's kept sacred, you can't manifest it in a mundane, because the mundane is the profane. The sacred cannot be accessed in the profane. So when you tell your higher self to, I mean, keep it a secret, that means keep it sacred. That means save it for my next life, because I ain't going to access it this one.
Hmm.
You actually putting yourself in a personal conjure, but you don't know it.
So, in let's say in relevance to people who say it without that knowledge that you just gave, then
Right.
their
So
ignorance
they got
provides grace,
accumulated,
right?
yeah. So they got accumulated energy built up in what you, the lack of a better way of putting it, I'll say prayer credit.
Hmm.
All you did was recorded all your shit in the universal mind, because you did nothing in order to make it surface in the physical world. Right. Now, some people know how to use the energy by doing certain stuff in the physical world that activates the prayer energy that was kept sacred.
Right. Because the power of
Right.
intention sometimes can,
Right. Right. So this is what those prayer groups, what we call prayer warriors in the church,
mhm.
they used to be the ones who held the secret to making the prayer manifest in short order by using the 369 science of the sisters.
Mhm.
That all of that got to be re-taught to y'all.
Mhm. Yeah, prayer was sacred. Prayer was
Yeah.
you.
But
Yeah.
prayer is the uh, talking to the creator.
Mhm.
Meditation is listening.
Mhm.
If you don't meditate, you won't never get your answer.
That's why sometimes you need to stop having all them distractions. Sometimes you got to shut that music off because we're people that love like music. We're people who love distractions. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes.
Yeah, but we can also learn how to use those things as facilitators.
Oh, for sure.
But we have to be also willful minded that that's what we're using it for.
Yes.
If we don't attach that to it, we can't use it for that purpose.
Yes. Correct. I like.
Right? So people be saying, what's the meaning of life? Right? We hear it all the time. Ain't got none till you give it one.
Mm-hmm.
Life has no meaning until you give it a meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Has no value until you value it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have no value for life, then your life has no value to yourself. You know, you are running what you call an errant course,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the best thing to do is to always keep in mind to follow the golden rule. If you don't want nobody to mistreat you, don't mistreat nobody. Each one teach one. We all gonna reach some.
Love thy neighbor like you thy love thyself.
Yeah. Don't love your enemy though.
No.
But you better damn well respect that motherfucker, or he gonna run roughshod over you.
Yeah.
Don't that's what it should have said. Respect your enemy, not love that motherfucker.
Respected enough to keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, because once you respect him, That means that you got enough understanding to know the danger that it is to fuck with this particular enemy, and for you to overcome that enemy, it requires you to have a certain level of um, insight that supersedes what they're capable of doing to overthrow you.
Mm-hmm.
But by you being respectful of their position and their power, now you put yourself into the position like Aikido to deflect it and use their energy against them, as opposed to allowing them to use it to subjugate you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In this particular case, the sister's taking a ball and going home, gonna shut this bitch down, but it's gonna happen in waves.
Mm-hmm.
It's already started, so it's a matter of when.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
All right, I'm about to wrap this one up. I'm getting tired now. I'm ready to lay my butt down.
Yes. Well, have a great rest. Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
You taught me so much. You're always sharing so much. So I thank God for continuously protecting you and blessing you and giving you provision and all of the good things. So until we speak again.
I think you're trying to make me blush.
No, I'm giving homage and paying respect. All right.
Yeah, that's gonna make me blush.
Oh, you are red Indian. You got red tone. All right.
Yeah, I'm ready red for real.
Right.
Yeah. All right, sweetie. I'm gonna talk back to y'all later. I'm about to exit out of this one.
Okay.
All right. So, just wanted to cash some receipts, go over a little understanding of tuning in the tarot or the oracle read in order to fine tune that shit. Now I'm getting a little exhausted because Big Mama had me doing physical labor, which I'll be doing some more tomorrow. But it got to be done in order to get where we're trying to go. So it is what it is, but it was what it. So there was a chief named Pontiac, and that's Pontiac, Michigan, and Pontiac, Illinois, both named after.
Okay.
He was one of the chiefs that governed the land that they called the Northwest Territory, which is Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. So it was. So you ever see the clothes the kids wear called Oshkosh?
No, I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna have to write that down.
Well, Oshkosh B'gosh was a chief.
Right.
He was from up toward the Minnesota area, but I think he was at a different time than Chief Pontiac. But then you had then you had Tecumseh, who was a chief in his area was like the Indiana going into Ohio, like that. And then it was a lot of chiefs came out of that area, and they all had different functions, different purposes. Chief Pontiac was the one who fought the French in Fort Detroit.
Okay.
Right. And he had originally made agreements and alliances with the French because they came in peace, but when they turned on him, that was a whole nother story. But he got killed by one of his own people. Yeah, he got stabbed in the back by a young brave down there in Illinois, southern
so somebody
Illinois.
Paid some of them dirty dudes paid somebody to take him out.
Well, it was a lot of infighting because back then excuse me, crying. Everybody had a different idea or a different approach to dealing with both the ones that look like us that came over here to replace us. They had different ideas about how to
redeem the land from the military actions that was taking place.
Mm-hmm.
We in martial law. We always been in martial law ever since General George Washington, who was a general before there was an America.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So General George Washington is the one who negotiated what we know today as the Paris Accord, or peace and the Treaty of Peace and Friendship.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, these corporations we talk about, these is not landmass governments.
Mm-hmm.
They all of them are under charters from either the Pope or the Queen of England at that time, or the King of Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So Spain held the rule over Morocco as they were exiting out. This is what sparked the Spanish Inquisition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? And this was the grand hurrah for ousting the Etruscans from Europe,
Mm-hmm.
who we call Moors.
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't Moors yet. Right? So when they were exiled from Europe, they went back to Al-Maghrib. So
Mhm.
over here, we was trying to figure out what really was going on. How do we deal with these people? What level is they coming? Because they hitting us with hostile takeovers of Big Mama House, turning them into POW camps. They capturing our people, holding them hostage and ransoming off as to their own people. They selling them back to their own people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us was bought from them by pale faces, especially the Irish,
Mm-hmm.
because the Irish was first, they first whooping child, so to speak. And a lot of people don't know, but it was some chocolate people that came from Ireland,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they settled in what's modern day Nova Scotia. And
I read about that. Go ahead. In the book of Silks. Go ahead.
right. So when they settled over there, they was trying to escape the Moorish persecution of the priests that was educating the people of Europe
Mm-hmm.
from Greece. So the Etruscans rise up to take control of Europe by way of Rome, but they have to conquer Greece first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The priests in Greece, when we know about Socrates and Aristotle and all of them,
Mm-hmm.
but before them, right,
Mm-hmm.
the first university was set up on the Isle of Crete. Crete
Mhm.
is a little island off the coast of Greece, and it's in the Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when they settled the island of Crete, there was a group of women called Sibyls. The Sibyls that broke off from Egypt to establish the Gorgon priests in Greece, or what they call Sibyls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they've come straight out of the house of Big Mama to go and do the work in Greece. So Helen was the Medusa of the Medusa, which
Mhm.
means the highest rank of the Sa, which is the doulas, the birth priestesses.
Mm-hmm.
The Sa priestesses, which carries the symbol of the Sa as a symbol of protection from divine order,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So they settled Greece and set up the matriarchal government of Greece, and wrote and had scholars to write and pen the Greek alphabet.
Go ahead.
So they gave them Greece, right? So then they emerged from Greece under Alexander's infiltrator.
Uh-huh.
That's Enlil's son,
Uh-huh.
right? We already went over the birth of Alexander, so we know who he is, right? So he Enlil's son. So his job, his life mission is to go to what we call the Indus Valley the place of the Hindu and recover the scrolls, the caste scrolls of government. He who holds the caste scroll controls the government for the balance of the age. Now, they got to first get past the priests that hold these documents in secret. Right? So when they go over there, they go to conquer the people of India. So when you read about Alexander's conquest, I noticed when he started going through Egypt and they renamed the capital city Alexandria, they didn't go into what we know as the Sudan. Because south into Sudan and Ethiopia, they were under a group of women known as Candace Queens.
Well, go ahead.
The Candace Queens was told that they would be the terror of Alexander if he tried to get past them into the interior of Africa.
Go ahead. I'm with it.
Now, the history of the Candace Queens, which was the warrior Sybil's sister, who falls under the house of Sekhmet, right? That's those warrior women, those tribes which Diana comes from. Diana being Wonder Woman.
Go ahead.
Right? So when you go into Europe, you find a goddess named Diana. She was a Gorgon priestess by birthright. That's what that island was. It was representative of the house of the Gorgon priestesses where the women warriors was trained. So they gave the culture to Greece. So now Alexander not going fucking with them Candace Queens. He already know what their legacy is. They have a legacy of victorious military conquest of great generals in antiquity. Right? So once the stronghold or the scrolls, the caste scrolls of government falls into the hands of Alexander, now comes the discourse on the Republic by Plato.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay, so now Plato is talking about a rule by law called a republic form of government. That's what a republic is. Okay, now they announce it biblically because you have to overthrow it to win the scroll of caste in order to lay down the next 6,000 year timeline. Right? So we all come in and we really thinking that we waking up from the amnesia, but we really coming back to reset the historical clock of the earth. Right? So the caste scroll gives way to the republic. The republic runs the Roman Empire from the internal methodology of the caste scroll. Now, the standard for the caste scroll is the separation of a chess game from the Etruscans. The Moors play chess. They masters of chess.
Right. That's right.
Right? And so the challenge comes as a fifth dimensional chess game.
Okay.
The fifth dimensional chess game, in turn, opens up the psyche to play the game of the masterminds. Right? So then they bring out the movie Mastermind who think he killed the hero, and then now there's nobody to protect the earth, and now the villain becomes the hero, the mastermind. Now, we in a conflict of hierarchy, a caste system, using a socio-economic leverage to enforce what's a skin-based caste system, and then give misnomers as the determining factor of the caste. So the competency in law that's required to overthrow the unum sanctums, right? The declaration of souls by the Pope and our incompetence, Dred Scott 3/5 compromise. Right?
Okay.
Now we need to be 5/5 realized to declare ourselves competent to play in the game of international affairs. We need to be sitting on the God seat if we need a superior position. So the key to the game is stand in the position of right at all times and bump straight. Right? Now people gonna come from the left and people gonna come from the right. And some of them gonna leave off the left and some gonna leave off the right. But however it go, it's just a chess game. Right?
Right there.
So now you got grown ass people walking around believing in their heart of hearts that they just living their life, but they all pawns on the chessboard. Pull up this book called Pawns in the Game. Pull it up on Google, Elder.
I got you. Hold on, I lock this door real quick. All right, there you go, right there.
So,
all right, what you want me to pull up on? What you want me to pull up on Google?